welcome. Recently, a woman called W0MAN, a video went viral, and this has to do with about 5 or 6 pastors, prophets that allegedly conducted they conducted a miracle on her, and this miracle has to do with the contraction and also the extension of one of the hands of the woman. I think it is the left hand of this woman. Now, according to some medical analysts out there, they claim that this particular contraction and extension of the arm, it's a disease anyway, and they were able to come up with several videos of people who are able to do just this. Now, the story out there is that this woman has come out to say that she regrets this. Now, a lot of pastors or prophets, they've involved themselves in these fake miracles here and there, but there is one of the prophet. He's a known prophet, he's a well-respected prophet. None of these kind of shady miracles have been attributed to him. At least, none that I've ever known. Now, like it doesn't matter who you are. Once you're on the top, you always become a topic. And a lot of people will always talk about what you have done right and what you have not done right and all of that. We know we have been riddled with a lot of false prophets in Nigeria and all over the world. You find them in America. You find them just everywhere. Some of them have been kicked out and they come back again and they say now they have repented and God has called them, blah, blah, blah. Now, the person that actually got this video viral is actually Prophet Chris Okafor. His ministry is situated somewhere in the outskirts of Lagos, somewhere in the outskirts of Lagos. That's where his ministry is situated. And he said to the woman that you were pushed down by some unseen forces, and you've been prayed for. The hand goes, the bone goes, and it comes back again. And he said, "Bring back our bone." And it became, hashtag. It was hashtag bring back our bone. This woman, it is alleged that this woman says she regrets being used by Prophet Okafor and others to stage the fake miracle. They said this woman has been arrested for the controversial healing. W0MAN, the woman allegedly used for fake miracles by some prophets and pastors in viral videos, shares a story with Hafiz Anafi. Now, a journalist conducted interview with this woman, but a lot of people weren't happy with the way the journalist conducted this miracle interview. They claimed that he was leading the woman on, and there are certain questions that he should have asked, but he refused asking those questions. And afterwards, after a miracle, one is supposed, particularly miracles that has to do with your physical body, probably you're blind, you cannot hear, deaf and dumb and stuff like that, we've seen several miracles of people trying to package one arm short, one arm long. We've seen several of these, several of these, packages out there. We don't know what to call them. Anyway, she was asked where she's from. She says she hails from Ilesha, Osun State. How old are you? She says she's 44 years old. And what religion does she practice? She says she's a Muslim. And they asked what is her educational background. She says she attended Nwaruddin Primary School, finished school in 1988, and came to Lagos in 1989. Lived with her mom, and her mom died in 1999. That's to tell you that this is not a small girl. This is not a young woman. This is not a woman that was born in the 80s. This is not a young woman. This is not a young woman saying that she finished. Well, plus or minus, she's probably in her late 30s. Probably she's 38, 39, or 40, something thereabout, or even more. And she said, they asked why she started the fake miracles from churches to churches. He said after her mom's death, she started working with a food vendor. I worked there for 9 years. In 1999, I had an accident and my leg and right hand were affected. The food vendor I was working with could no longer engage me because of the injuries. I then went to my sister's place in Igondo and I stayed with her from 2000 to 2003. When I met my husband, he married me with the injuries. We had 3 children together and he died October 3rd, 2017. There was nothing for me again, no helper, no house for me to stay. I had to relocate with my children to my sister's shop where we were living. And this is how predicament started, as she needed money and she knows that she could retract and extend. Probably someone had tutored her about this. So let's go on with what this woman has to say as regards this. Now, I'll tell you this for free. This is not the first time, like I said, that pastors, prophets, even in America, you find them in Africa, that have come up with, not because some of them do not have that ability to see. Some of them can actually see, but sometimes it seems as if the vision has reduced a little bit, and then they're able to lead people on. But then, I always tell you, we have fake prophets. Yes, we have fake prophets. We have true prophet, and we have false prophet. The difference between these three is that true prophet of God is a prophet that God actually called. Why we have the fake prophet do not have any form of power, no energy. All they have is brain energy, brain sense that they use in manipulating people. And we have the false prophet. False prophet has, they have ability to see into the realm of the spirit too, but they are actually using familiar spirits and using some other cunning packages. Now the problem is this: when a prophet of God, true prophet of God, decides one way or the other due to certain activities or actions seen or some events in their life, if they realize that it seems as if they are no longer functioning in the realm of the spirit, prophesying and doing miracles, the next thing they do sometimes is to now buy the other side. What is the other side? The kingdom of darkness. And because the kingdom of darkness will not give them just everything, because they don't have everything, they will end up using both the soothsayer ability, and all the mesmerization that they come up with, and also add some few scam packages such as this. So it's very difficult at times, particularly if you trust your prophet, you believe in the God of your prophet, you believe in the ministry of your prophet, and all of a sudden you realize that such is happening. Like I said, there are a lot of pastors and prophets that got involved with this woman, but something striking is Prophet Okafor, generational prophet. He has his church, like I said, in the outskirts of Lagos there. He's a well-respected prophet anyway. Now, he was asked, what is the name of the church? He said the church is Radiant Army Deliverance Ministry. I know the pastor as Tony. How did you get to be used for fake miracle when you met him? He said, before Fatila took me there, she taught me how I could act when we got to the church. We did the rehearsals at home. She taught me how to first hang my hand. And this Fatila is definitely someone that has decided to use probably is one of those people that they ask to go and bring people in. He said, when we got to the church that night, I sat when I got to the church, the pastor came, he took me to the altar, he asked me if I believed my hand could be healed. I said yes. Meanwhile, the girl had already sent my picture to him, and he already knew what he wanted to do. He put a towel on my hand and prayed. He put oil on the towel to rub my head. Immediately, he removed the towel. I started putting down my hand gradually, as I was already taught to do it gradually. Fatila gave me 9,000 naira when we left the church. 3 days after, I returned to Pastor Tony and Tony Church on Sunday. The pastor asked me to come out, and he told the congregants that he helped me with 1 million naira, but he didn't give me anything. If he had given me 1 million that day, I would never have gone to any other church. All the pastors were already aware of the whole thing, and she was the coordinator. We would do rehearsals, and she would send videos to the pastor. So this person is now the person sending videos and pictures to the pastors. So the pastors are already aware. Now this shows, there's a lot of problem when it comes to the ministry, comes to the church of God. He said she will bring down her hand, and as they started praying for her, she knew that everything was arranged, and she would definitely start bringing her hands gradually. Now she was asked, where else have you done this fake miracle? He said, I didn't see the girl again. That is the Fatila until August 2019. I followed her to Port Harcourt, Rivers State, where she took me to 2 churches. One of the pastors did his own fake miracle at the market. She also took me to a church in Abakaliki in Ebonyi State in October 2019. Then she took me to Mountain of Liberation and Miracle Ministry of Ojodu Bega. This is the church of the pastor, of the prophet, Okafor, Chris Okafor in Ojodu Bega. And this is where the old Bible busted. Was he doing this because he needed more crowd? Was he doing this because he needed more money? Was he doing this because he's used to the prophetic, he's used to the Spirit of God talking to him, or he was never called by God? These are questions that have bothered a lot of people, particularly people that have kind of followed the ministry. I, as a person, already looked into this ministry. I looked at it, not because we don't have fake prophets and pastors, you will never know. But I've never seen anything about Mountain of Liberation, Miracle Ministry, Ojodu Bega, or have I ever noticed the prophet himself being a fake prophet. But then, how can any other person realize who is fake and who is not fake if you yourself do not even have the ability to see into the realm of the spirit? How will you know? Because most times when you watch videos from many of these prophets, the demon speaking will begin to point at some other churches and say that the other church is a fake prophet and all of that. So if the demon in the other fake church begins to speak, the demon will begin to speak, oh, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So it's so difficult for you to even know who is a true prophet of God. She said as she sat in the church, the pastor called her name and she went out. She said, I have never seen him before, but Fatila had already given him all the details about me and how I can, contract and also stretch my hands. She gave me 10,000 naira after we left the church. That is the money that she claimed that Okafor gave to her. Fatila called me and said, one brother Henry from the church would give me 400,000 naira. Now, that is when the issue burst, the bubble burst. That is when the bubble burst, because people wanted to seek into the issue on ground. People were trying to ask, how come Prophet Okafor? All right, let us say some other prophets are involved with this. What is going on? We've respected you. We know you to be a prophet of God. Did something happen along the line that must have brought about this? It's a mystery that should be unraveled. Anyway, this woman has tried to unravel her own part of the mystery. She said they sent Henry's mobile number to her, and Henry called her. Henry asked her to send an account number, and she did. After some days, 400,000 naira, that's close to 500,000 naira, was sent to her account. Now she was asked where she got the money. She said, I should not be involved in fake miracles again. Do not forget that after that interview, that wasn't well granted, because after a miracle you expect the person to perform with the hands and show the word. If you cannot see, can you see? Can you count my fingers and all of that? So she told me that the money should be used to rent a shop and an apartment, and the money, she said, I used the money to rent a shop in Uganda, where the police eventually arrested. Probably some people wanted to get deep into this. Now they said in your encounter with Prophet Okafor, he said your hand paralyzed after you fell from the bed, whereas you claimed you have an accident. Who's telling the truth? He said, I don't know how the pastor came up with all what he was saying about me. When I was in his church, maybe it was Fatila that told him to say all of those things. And they said, did you refute it? He said, what am I going to say? It is yes. I would say, why will I say so inside of the church? I cannot say no, because the girl Fatila had already told me, everything they tell you, say yes. Now, after the service, did you meet Pastor Okafor? Prophet Okafor said, no, there was no meeting. I left the service. I didn't discuss with the prophet. It is the girl that I knew, and it's the girl that gave me 10,000. And later, when the matter was going to burst, they eventually came up with 400,000 naira. Now, the example she made in Port Harcourt and Abakaliki miracle, she said, Pastor Gospel Abe, of course, you know who that one is in Port Harcourt. 11,000 naira was given to her. And she said Fatila gave her 7,000 naira and another 9,000 naira. Now they asked if she regrets her action. She said, I do. She said, if I knew they would put my videos on social media, I would never have done this. It is poverty that pushed me into this. And because my husband died, I am a widow and there is no one. He said, my father has stroke, all the stories of what happened to her and all of that. Now they now say, can you recount all you said before Pastor Okafor and all those who perform miracles? Say, yes, in fact, I'm ready to take the police to all the churches because I am tired. All the pastors should be arrested. I want them to be confronted, and all the shenanigans comes to an end. Now, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. There are certain groups of people, not because, like I said, we don't have false prophet, but there are certain kinds of groups of people or certain people that get themselves involved in certain things. Maybe, I don't know what's really happening. If it's a setup or whatever it is. Anyway, what's your opinion about this? Do you think it's a setup like the prophet Chris Okafor of Mountain of Liberation? Probably you're a member of the church. Probably you believe in his ministry. I've seen him perform. I've seen him pray. I've seen him do a lot of things. What do you think? Do you think it's a setup? Do you think the kingdom of darkness is fighting the church of God in order to discredit them or something? Or do you think, like people said, why didn't he see it? If he can see that this is a setup to distribute, to put him in disrepute, to destroy his image, to destroy the church of God, to create anarchy. What is your opinion about this? What's your opinion about this? A lot of people have doubted the authenticity of the miracles. They claim that this is beyond understanding. It's a terrible issue out there. I feel so sad. I feel so sad. Now, there are a lot of people that believe in him. Prophet Dr. Chris Okafor is the generational prophet of the Almighty God, they say. and that he has no hand in this, that Pastor Eric gave out 400K to go and start business doesn't mean that Dr. Chris Okafor is involved in this. They said that the hand has been healed, and it has been healed and healed. Whatever it is, let us read at the comment section. What's your opinion about this? And while you're that, if you're not a member of this channel, let's grow it together by you tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell below. It will definitely alert you whenever videos are uploaded. Thanks for stopping by.